All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Wall Street Rundown. I'm your co-host Billy. I have Wale with me. What's going on, Wale?
What's up, man? Welcome back. Welcome
Man,
back.
I'm excited to be back. Excited to get started, and get things rolling here. So definitely excited to be back, man. We missed a lot of stuff while I was gone, but it's all good. We're here now. We can get it going. So let me go ahead and do a quick recap here. So, man, like the market has been doing some crazy stuff. Like I am like shocked, bro.
Me
Like
and
the
you
the
both.
amount of the amount of work, the amount of um like new highs that we've created in the market has been crazy. So for example, S&P closed about 6.6% up today at 6,263. Dow Jones was up 0.5%. The Nasdaq was up 0.9%. I mean, we had the tech and AI surge is going crazy. Like, I cannot believe that. And then copper took off a little bit. And then Bitcoin hit a high of $112,000, bro. I was thinking about, I was like, man, 10 years ago, Bitcoin was like $200. If you would have put $1,000 in there, you up like almost $500,000 in there right now. That's crazy, man.
Speaking of
But
speaking of Bitcoin,
a
I
lot
just
of
want
a
to
lot. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'll get back. I'll
I was
get
gonna
back
say
to that
a
thought.
lot of the dominance that's happening right now is based on tech. A lot of tech companies are actually running like crazy. So we've seen a lot of them running up. So that's pretty much what's been holding up the market. But there's other stuff also that's holding the market, but I think mostly has been the tech kind of holding up the market. And then the June Fed minutes came up. And a little bit of conversation in there about interest rate cuts in late 2025. So I mean, that kind of had the market run up a little bit. So we'll see what that happens. But and then of course we have Mr. Trump pumping and dumping, pumping the market, taking it up and down, sideways, however he wants to. It's like playing ping pong with the market, man. But yeah, man, give me your input on this week because it's just a lot.
So if you would have told me back in April when we were getting the market was absolutely getting hammered that we would be at all-time highs by July, I would have drug tested you.
Yeah.
I would have drug tested you because I wouldn't have believed it. And a lot of institutional money managers, investors, they had the same sentiment. And here we are trading at all-time highs. Will the momentum continue? We'll just have to wait and see. But right now, there really isn't anything in the cards that is stopping how things are moving. Now, the 90-day pause ended today, right? Trump is starting to announce tariffs for businesses and countries starting August 1st.
Yeah.
And some of them have come down from where they were on the April 9th issue. Some have not. But I think from what we're seeing, most of the biggest trade partners that the US does business with, Canada, Mexico, China, EU, there seems to be some sort of agreement between those countries. So some of the other countries like the Myanmars, the Laos, Brazil, those aren't really big headlines. But I will say that, based on what Trump has said, it doesn't seem like countries are coming to the table and agreeing. It seems like Trump is sending them a letter and saying this is what it's going to be.
Pretty
So,
much.
but so far, that has not stopped the market from continuing to push higher. We also saw last week unemployment dropped to
Yep.
4.1%. That was a big
That's a
mover in
shocker
the
to me.
market. That was a shocker. That was a
Yes.
huge shocker. So, with unemployment coming down, we haven't really seen any big spikes in inflations with tariffs.
Right.
Therefore, nothing has been able to rattle the feathers of the market. And I mean, with that being said, I don't see anything that could ruffle feathers at this point. Now, I will say this though, and this is a big what if.
Hmm.
With the passing of the big beautiful bill, with the
What a name,
increase,
first of all. What
I
a
know, right?
name.
I know. With the potential increase with the debt ceiling, My question is, do some of the credit agencies like Moody's, S&P, and Fitch downgrade US debt again?
Mm,
That could ruffle the feathers of the market.
yep.
That is one thing that I will say that's kind of looming out there, but that's a big what if. That's
Yep.
a very, very, very big what if at this point. So the bond market hasn't really been showing any signs of like, you know, it being like a warning sign or anything that's kind of like telling people, hey, be cautious. I've been checking that habitually over the last couple of days. And so far, everything looks pretty good. And yeah, I really can't sit here and say what could ruffle the feathers of the market. I'm not saying something can't, but at this point in time, I cannot see it. And I'm looking at something I saw yesterday. End of year S&P price targets based on some of these big investment companies. Goldman Sachs says 6,600. Deutsche Bank says 6,550. Morgan Stanley 6,500. Bank of America 6,300. Citibank 6,300. Oppenheimer 5,950. JP Morgan 6,000. Wells Fargo 6,000. RBC Capital 5,730. And then Evercore ISI 5,600. So
Wow.
most people are bullish. So we'll just have to wait and see how things play out. But at least for right now, it would be hard for me to go against the grain.
Yeah, and I mean it's and just looking at the overall market also is like I guess I want to get your opinion now. Are we hitting like some unrealistic numbers where we might expect some pullback? I mean, just looking at technical wise, I think we are kind of like surging a little higher. What are your opinion on in terms of technicals? Like where are we sitting right now with the overall market?
So let me pull up a quick chart of SPX real quick. Yeah, from a technical standpoint, I'm just looking at long-term moving averages right now. The 200 and the 200 EMA and the 200 SMA are now kind of flattened out, which tells you that momentum is still fairly bullish.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't see any areas of resistance, mainly because we haven't been to this area in quite some time. I mean, we haven't been to this area ever, I should say.
Right.
So for me, if we pull back, the only area that I would probably mark on my chart as a potential support area from a technical basis would be somewhere near 6,070-ish. Um, but again, if we see a 200 point pullback, you always have to tell yourself, what is the catalyst? What is it? There has to be a catalyst. Every time there's a major drop, there has to be a catalyst. And right now we
Yeah.
don't have one yet. I thought it could be unemployment. Unemployment's moving down. I thought it could be inflation. Inflation isn't really spiking.
Oop.
So we get CPI and PPI next week for June, right? So we'll see what those numbers show. But right now, I don't see a catalyst yet. But we'll just have to wait and see until something starts to, ruffle the feathers of the market. But I'm not in the business of making predictions at this point.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of hard right now to make those predictions because it's like kind of like you mentioned a lot of things that we thought was gonna bring the market down didn't even do anything,
Yeah.
or the market didn't have like a strong reaction to it basically.
I mean, we had that whole conflict with Iran and Israel. That thing
That
happened
didn't
and
do
went.
nothing.
We thought that Iran was gonna, close the strait for oil movement in the Middle East. Nothing happened. So, I
Nope.
mean, I can't believe. I mean, that whole incident just basically just disappeared quickly.
In a matter of a week too, it's like within a week it was just like silence after that, you know?
We went from potential everybody screaming World War III to nothing.
That's
So,
crazy, man. Well, moving on to NVIDIA, man. NVIDIA is on a historic run. Yeah, I went back 5 years ago with NVIDIA. If you go 5 years ago in NVIDIA, you have to have seen something different. You have to have believed in the company to actually see it the way that. And this, I'm talking, this is after the split too. Like before the split, I mean, NVIDIA, I don't know what NVIDIA is going to be before the split, but it is up there. But NVIDIA hit a historic $4 trillion valuation. It is the first publicly traded company to ever hit $4 trillion market cap doing intraday trading. I mean, Apple's not even close. Like that's
Hey, say it louder in the back so Kathy Wood can hear you.
You hear that, Apple? You hear that? Man, this company came from the behind, like literally within the last 2 years. I'll say Nvidia just been ripping like crazy, and I mean it's just crazy. Like, how do you go from like a company that a lot of people probably didn't know about to like this? And I was reading like a lot of the employees who invested, who bought stocks, they're millionaires. A lot of employees who actually like got given like stocks options and all these different things, they are million and they still work for the company. They still work for the company. So, oh man, they're locked out, bro.
And I think we talked about this before. NVIDIA is basically doing what Apple did with the release of the iPhone years ago, where it was changing how everyday people function
Yep.
and do business. That's when Apple was at the peak of their innovation. That's what NVIDIA has pretty much done.
Yep.
And NVIDIA is changing the entire AI landscape. And they are the 800-pound gorilla
Yep.
that has been basically driving the market. Now, I will say this too. Taiwan Semi also hit an all-time high.
Yep.
Not just recently. I think 237.58 was their all-time high. They're sitting right under that. But everybody who said that the whole AI thing was hype, yeah, they are eating their words. They
Mhm.
are
Mhm.
eating
Mhm.
their
Mhm.
words because it's a real thing. It's changing the way people do business. It's
Yep.
changing the way people like me and you do research and
Yep.
analyze things.
Yep.
And
Yep.
man, it's been a huge game changer.
Yep.
Now, I will say this though. I will say this. We know that behind the scenes, all of these big tech companies are trying to create their own chips.
Yep.
Amazon's trying to create their own chips. Meta's trying to create their own chips. So that to me is something that we also just need to be mindful of. That
Yep.
will Nvidia's dominance fade in the future, or will they continue to be who they are 5,
Mhm.
10, 15, 16 years from now?
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see. So,
But
but
Jensen,
man,
Jensen did say something really weird that was very interesting to me. He said Nvidia is working to be the basis, right? So it's working to be the foundation upon which all the other chips. So if you like, I'm like Amazon, Apple. Unfortunately, by the time you adapt to this, most of the AI in the market will be built based on NVIDIA's chip. So you have to kind of
mm,
do a stack on top of that. So you still have to go
gotcha,
to NVIDIA to be able to
gotcha.
build something that will work, right? So it's like I think that's what the dominance is going to be. Like
Mm,
if we can be the foundation upon where all AI is built and make it very, very hard for companies to be able to switch between, like a new company that can and start building something new, they will dominate the market, right? Because now, if any changes need to be made, one is going to be really hard, right?
yes.
To transition from like Nvidia's chip to something else, and then two, if somebody else want to build a chip, they have to look at how Nvidia is doing it to be able to supply the same amount of AI, power and same amount of speed and all those different things, right? So I think they're going to dominate in that space for a long time. Honestly, I
Mm.
think they're going to be there for a while.
Yeah, we'll see, man. But man, $4 trillion. Four, and this is and this is I'll go back to what we talked about. This was before we even had the crash in April. Remember, we were telling people, right, that when the market was dropping, think of it as opportunity. Don't
Yes.
don't panic. And we said, I remember this vividly. I says, is it a good time to buy stocks now? I said yes. But I said, will it be a better time to buy stocks a month from now, which was like in April?
Mm-hmm.
The answer was yes.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who was dollar cost averaging back in March and April, I mean, you could have picked up Nvidia for what, like $88?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
This is why we say when you see market pullbacks with extreme headlines and chaotic things that are going on, you have to put your investor hat on and start thinking about opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Like I looked at one of my older portfolios where it's all mutual funds. There's no individual stocks. The return over the last 3 months is 32%.
Yep. You beating S&P. You beating a bunch of other portfolio managers.
32% in the last
Yep.
3 months.
Crazy. Crazy.
So this is why you should subscribe to the Wall Street Rundown.
Yes. I'm telling you, I mean, we've been telling you guys this for a while now. You know what I mean? Every single thing we're going through and just going back, looking at the numbers. Like if you go back to our old videos from last year, even the beginning of this year, you will see like we talked a lot about those things, right? So
Yeah. And
absolutely, absolutely.
lots of different stocks in all-time highs now. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it has been crazy.
Aklo gave us another opportunity a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you guys jumped in, but it was there.
Let me look at one stock right now that I'm looking at. Yeah, Planeteer hit 148.
PLTR, yep.
I mean, there's just a lot of names that have hit all-time highs.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, if you would have told me this a month ago, I wouldn't have believed you. But
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. But the other thing I'm seeing also that they talked about is in terms of China's strategy, what NVIDIA is doing is they're doing a specialized AI chip for them, which
hmm
is like a tailored version of or a stripped down version of the Blackwell RTX Pro 6000. So they're doing like a stripped version of it, right? Now, we talked about the deep AI thing that China created with the most basic chip that NVIDIA has. You know what I
DeepSeek,
mean?
yep.
Right. So how much more can it do with this one? Even they stripped it down, like how much more they can do with it. So it's like, we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely an arms race between the US and China at
Oh,
this point when it comes to the
absolutely.
whole AI thing.
Absolutely.
And they're doing some really innovative things over there right now.
Yep. Yep.
So we'll see.
It's only a matter of time before China come out with its own chip. I mean,
Yeah.
they're really good at like mimicking and they're really good at like understanding how things works and then just taking it in and making it their own. So
Mhm.
it's gonna happen. It's gonna be a tight
And
race.
they push that type of education for their for the
Yeah,
future generation. So,
absolutely.
science and math and all that stuff, those are things that are very, very, very important
Yeah.
in that part of the
So
world. So,
them is huge for them. All right. Well, that means that I mean, based on what we're seeing right now, AI demands is very, very strong. Investors are confident in what's happening with the AI. Nvidia's basically positioning itself to be a global chip manufacturer when it comes to AI, and they're scaling, man. They're scaling a lot higher. I think their projection, Citi gave them a projection of target to 190.
mhm.
So they still got a ways to go up there. So we got what are we sitting at right now? 160.
162 hit 164 today, but it pulled back.
Yep. So if there's another pullback, I mean, they have a target of 190, $190. So we'll see how we get there. Yeah, it's a very interesting company, I'll say. We still have a long way to go with them. So I'll keep an eye on that one.
If you didn't buy Nvidia when it was under $100,
Not even that, even if you just got an ETF that has Nvidia in it, like, come on. Just get an ETF that has Nvidia. If you're too scared to have like Nvidia just by itself,
man,
crazy.
man,
I have an
man.
ETF that has Nvidia, Meta, Microsoft. If you look at all those three, like they're balling right now. So
Yeah, if you could have just bought the SMH, you'd be sitting pretty.
there you go. You'd be chilling. But there's more opportunities coming. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Every pullback with the market, there's always an opportunity coming. So keep an eye on that one. Let's move on to the OpenAI and Meta war. There's a war happening with Meta. There's a war happening with Sam Altman and Mark Zuckerberg. They are going to war, and Zuckerberg is pulling all the stops, yo. He's like offering some crazy, crazy amount of money. So, just to give you guys a background, Meta Super Intelligence Labs, they've been actively recruiting like high profile researchers, right? So over the past month, I say they poached like three researchers from OpenAI Zurich's office. So the Sweden office, they pulled like three of the top researchers on there. I mean, they're offering signing bonus up to $100 million, y'all. Like
What's 100
hundred
million?
million dollars to get talent to go into um working for Meta. Like that's crazy.
Like,
Overall, so far they got like 8+ researchers. They already joined Meta. I mean, if somebody offered $100 million as a bonus, I don't know, yo. Like you really have to like really be committed to that company. We need to be like, nah, I'm staying. You know what I mean? But Sam Altman called. He said this is crazy. First of all, he called them mercenary. He called mercenary.
but
and,
but
and
go ahead.
they're pushing their team to actually start recalibrating their compensation. So they're probably gonna start like, yo, look, if you stay, we're gonna give you $100 million. You know what I mean? So now is a war of like, how much money's out there, right? So yeah.
So, but this is the thing, though. If you have known Mark Zuckerberg for anything, if you followed him since his inception of Facebook, that's what he does.
He
He
does. Yep.
steals.
Yep.
He
Yep.
steals.
Yep.
I mean, Reels he stole that idea from Snapchat, right?
Yep.
The whole Facebook thing, he basically, I guess they say he stole the idea from the twins.
The
The
twins. Yep. Yep.
um threads he stole from Twitter.
Yep.
So you kind of that's kind of his MO. His MO is if
Yeah.
I see something you're doing, I'm going to take the idea and make it my own,
My own.
or I'm just going to steal your employees.
Yep.
The thing that's crazy to me though is this. So they're betting big on AI. My thing is I'm surprised that the board allowed him to go on such a spending spree after they sunk so much money in reality labs.
Mm-hmm.
Like that whole metaverse concept thing, like I don't know if they're gonna try to bring it back or anything like that, but like they wasted billions of dollars
A lot of
on
money.
that project. And
Yep.
I don't know if they're scrapping the whole thing or not, but I'm actually surprised the board was like, here's a blank check, go get who you need.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty much what they did.
Yep. Yep.
But
Yep.
that's crazy. $100 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's more than what most top athletes make on an annual basis.
That's what I mean. Like, if somebody offer you that, like, what do you say? I
That's
mean, like I said, you
crazy.
really have to be committed to that employer for you to be like, no, I'm turning down $100 million because I really like this company, you know?
The thing though, I will say that with the open AI folks is I wonder how much equity they lost because open AI, I don't know if they ever plan to go public, but I wonder how much equity they ended up losing because when that if that company ever does go public, I mean that IPO will, I mean it might be the best IPO we've ever seen
It's gonna go crazy.
ever. A lot of these big tech names or these big tech companies that are working on AI, like Anthropic, OpenAI, they're still private, and we don't know whether they're going to go public
Right.
yet.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure when they do, it's going to be a free for all.
Yep.
So I wonder how much equity they lost. But I mean, if somebody offered me $100 million to leave my employer, yeah, I'd probably leave without even blinking.
Like, we're not even writing on this
And
resignation
and
letter.
they said the total compensation package could reach up to 300
100.
million.
Yep. And I mean, that's like talking bonuses, talking like all of those different things, even maybe
That's
probably including shares of Meta in there, like all of that stuff. So
that's
yeah,
crazy. So kids, go to school.
yeah.
Go to school.
And these are researchers, yo. Like this not even like engineers, These are just researchers, people who understand how and where AI can have the most impact. Like, you know what I mean? Those are researchers. Those are people who do research. But I mean, that's crazy, man. That is crazy.
And if you look at where most of them are from, I think most of them are from either China or from the eastern part of the world,
Yeah.
where they really emphasize education.
Yeah. Also, more Europeans. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
So
I
that's
don't know. It's like I said, it's an arms race. There's an arms race going on between Meta and OpenAI here, and there's an arms race going between the US and China. But
China.
man,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
crazy.
Yep.
300 million as a researcher. Ooh,
Listen.
I'm telling you,
You ain't
kids,
got you don't gotta talk
go
to me
to
twice.
school. You
You don't gotta
don't
tell
it,
me twice. I'm like, when do you
man.
want me and how long and how many hours? I'm in.
You don't need to be a movie star or content creator or
No, no.
athlete. You can find a nice living by going to school.
Absolutely, absolutely, and you have more, and you have probably have more opportunity there. I mean, if you talk a statistic when it comes to like how many people
Correct.
actually aspire to be an NBA player, basketball, I mean, Major League Baseball player,
Yeah, yeah.
hockey, all these different things, and
That success rate is
yeah, what's the percentage that actually makes it? So you spend all your life trying to get there, and then you're just not good enough, or your talent is there, but it's like they're looking for something else, So yeah, go get your education, get a degree, find something that you can focus on and get good at it.
yeah,
And I
get good at
promise
it.
you, yeah, I promise you, you will do good. But just you also gotta do like you gotta be really invested in it.
I see a comment in the box, CoreWeave. Shane, are you still in CoreWeave? I missed that opportunity. I hope you're still in it. I hope you bought the shares. CoreWeave is another one that I will weep about because I had the chance to buy it at 33 and didn't.
Yeah, I
CoreWeave
mean,
is where's CoreWeave now?
153. It came down a little bit.
What was
You
the
see
high?
that
Like 188?
187. Yeah, it's
One.
just consolidating right now. It's not going anywhere,
Okay.
but it's probably getting ready for another big move. You never know. It's inside on the month, inside on the 3 months. Yeah, it's just inside right now. So,
And they just made a big acquisition for Core Scientific
mm,
yesterday. So I'm trying to figure something out. So this is where I'm having a dilemma. So usually when a company buys out another company, there's usually a spike in the company that gets bought out, right?
yeah.
Core Scientific has actually gone down like almost 10% since the announcement of the buyout. The buyout price is somewhere near $20 a share, but Core Scientific is trading at 13.43.
Mm,
So I'm wondering, is there an arbitrage opportunity here? The issue with this is that you don't know when the deal is going to close. So if you're buying options, you probably don't know how far out you need to go.
right.
But I'm trying to figure out, does it make sense for me to buy like leaps at the 20 strike and just hold it and pray? Because something similar happened with Twitter.
Yeah.
Something similar happened with Twitter. So I'm trying to
Mm.
figure out, is there an arbitrage opportunity with this trade? I don't know. I might
That'll,
have to
that'll
go.
be that'll be something to look at.
Yeah, I might look at some 2027 leaps. Let's see. Let's do some research real quick. If we go to the leaps, December 2027. Okay, so we got some time. How far did the leaps go out? The furthest out you can go to is 17. No, that's not the 17 strike. It's the 17 strike. If you go to January 2027 leaps, oh no, maybe you can go further out than that. I need to look at all the strikes. No, you can go to 20. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any open interest in that area, but January 20 strikes. And then let's look at December.
The area you're looking at core scientific, right? CORZ.
CORZ. Yep.
I'll be interested if it gets back down to like that 1188 around that area.
Uh-huh.
If he gets back down there, I think I'll be very interested in it.
Yeah. So you can get 2027 leaps for December that are trading at about $400 a contract.
That's not
If
bad.
if you go to January for the 20 to strike, about $320 a contract. Yeah, I might have to do some research on this.
Yeah,
It's
because
a
they hit
hell.
a
It's a
high of $18, right?
hmm
So
because usually the buyout price is going to be higher than where it was currently trading. There's
yep.
usually a premium that's paid. Yeah, right. So why it's dropped so much, I don't understand. So
Yeah.
it might be a good YOLO trade to just kind of throw some money at it and close your eyes and see what happens.
You say close your eyes. That spread needs to come down a little bit. I hate that spread. That spread is horrible.
Shane says he got CoreWeave at 38 a share. You are the
Man,
man.
Shane, don't talk to me.
You are the man. I wanted it to get to 30 and it got to 33 and I should have just bought the shares.
Don't
That was
talk to me, Shane.
that's a silly
That's
mistake.
that's a that's a that's a steal right there. That is a
Yeah, that's a
steal.
steal. That's a steal.
That's what's up, man.
We'll
But
see we'll see what happens when lockups expire in September though. That's what I'm
yep,
looking for. See if it
yep,
comes
it's
back down.
coming. It's coming. Let's see if we can get a pullback a little bit. So
Yeah.
even after the pullback, it'd probably be a good time to buy it too. So we shall see.
Or if NVIDIA shows that they sold most of their position,
Mhm.
that's another thing that could cause the stock to potentially drop a little bit more because NVIDIA is one of their biggest investors.
Yep, 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 yep. All right, let's move on to unemployment. The numbers came out. Unemployment rate dropped from 4.2% to 4.1% in June. That's a 0.1% decline. So, and that kind of had the market a little bit optimistic about what's happening. And I think that's probably contributed to like the market moving up a little bit more. So, what are your, well, let's break it down by sector. So, the government jobs added about 73,000 jobs. Especially state and local education added about 47,000 jobs. Private sector was weak. They only added 74,000 jobs. Manufacturing saw a decline, while healthcare added about 39,000 jobs. So we're seeing the numbers gonna go up a little bit in terms of like how many jobs is being added. Now, my thing is, most of those sectors laid off a lot of people in the beginning of the year. So are you just rehiring people who you laid off and then we're just saying, hey, the numbers are going up? You understand what I'm saying?
I
So
was
it's
gonna
like
say the same thing because you are hearing about all of these layoffs, right?
yep.
And then now all of a sudden the
Yeah.
numbers come down. Come
Yeah.
on now. Come on now. Who's fudging the numbers?
Who's making those? Who's
Whoever's doing the unemployment report is probably the same person that ran Enron.
yeah. We're in trouble if that's the person. That's the same person. We are in deep trouble. That's
So
crazy.
4.1 unemployment. I mean, at this rate, if unemployment is moving down and inflation is not moving up, I mean, the Fed might we might get our first rate cut in September. I think
Yeah.
we might actually get it. I am still a little bit iffy on that happening, but
You
like I
never
said,
know.
who am I to say that, I know what I'm talking about. So,
Yep. You never know.
I mean, that when I saw that number last week, I was shocked. I was utterly shocked, and the market ran that day.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll see. And we were seeing unemployment jobless claims like was kind of trickling a little bit higher. So I'm actually surprised that
Yeah.
I
Because
don't know.
we've been stuck at 4.2, I think, for like
For a
few
while,
weeks. Yeah.
man, we've been 4.2 for a few months.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I mean, everything so far again has been setting up for the market to continue to push higher, or at the very least, maybe we consolidate for the back half of the year.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But at this point, again, I can't sit here and say, okay, this is a catalyst that could substantially drop the market within a short period of time. Now, I
Yep.
will say this. I did see $1 million trade on QQQ puts at the 400 strike
Uh-oh.
going out till August. Somebody posted this in our trading group.
What's
Um,
happening?
and I thought something crazy was going to happen after Liberation Day, but we didn't get anything today. So why somebody would put $1 million on a $400 strike? Because QQQ is trading at what, five?
556
So $1 million trade.
for 400. I mean, they're probably not gonna get 400, but they're probably anticipating a move to the downward.
Something. So I need to go check and see if that position has been closed, if it's still open. But
Yeah.
that's a, and then we saw we're also seeing in our group lots of trades for the VIX at the 32 strike going out to August.
Please keep an eye on VIX, y'all.
So
Like,
I would caution everyone that you don't always see those trades for no reason.
mm,
But again, you need to figure out what will be the catalyst behind why the market would make such a drop.
yep, yep.
So Yeah, keep an eye out on that. Hopefully it's not somebody like, like Iran actually going full nuclear or something like that. Because that would be wild.
I don't think it is, but even the VIX is sitting at a very interesting place right now. It's sitting at that. There's a fair value gap right there that's sitting at. So we'll see, man. We'll see if he respects this and how far we go from here. But
I mean,
yeah,
can you imagine we saw VIX at 60 like
man,
two or three
yeah,
months ago?
yeah. That wasn't too long ago.
That's crazy.
That was not too long ago.
Crazy.
But again, tomorrow we're still gonna get the jobless claim at 8:30 a.m. So keep an eye on that one. If that comes higher than how amount of work you add, amount of job you added, that might also take the market the other way, right? So we shall
Correct.
see where we are with that one. But that comes in tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. And then I don't know, I don't think we have any other important economic calendar coming out this week.
Yeah,
Um,
next week is the CPI and PPI for sure.
yep, yep. And then let's see, next week. Yeah, we have the CPI and PPI next week.
Yeah, that's next week.
Yeah, so that's another one we're gonna keep an eye on, see what's going on with that one.
And we
And
don't
that
have a
comes out
we don't have a Fed meeting until the 29th of
right,
July.
and that comes out Monday, 8:30 a.m. We have the Consumer Price Index (CPI),
Okay.
and then PPI comes on Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. also. And yeah, we don't really have anything else apart from that. But again, we're back to that. Is inflation a real thing? Because I think like if a lot of people stop talking about inflation. I haven't heard anybody mention inflation in a long time. So is that still a thing? Is that still happening? Are we in inflation? Are we easing? Are we getting out of inflation? I don't know. You know what I mean? Because I don't think a lot of people talking about it. Maybe except for Powell, ain't nobody else talking about it. So
Yeah. So we'll wait and see.
yeah,
I am still optimistic about where this market could go. I am, like I said, until I see a catalyst that ruffles feathers, right? That makes me a little bit nervous. I'm not going to sit here and try to say that the momentum is going to stop. Now, I
right.
will say this though. We've been talking in our investment group. Shane, shout out to Shane again for doing some real digging. Commercial real estate still makes me somewhat nervous.
You've been talking about that.
We've been talking
This
about
is
this for over a year.
yeah.
Um, One of the things that has come to my attention is that a lot of these real estate loans coming up at the end of the year will need to be refinanced at the new rate environment. So a lot of the loans that were issued back in 2020 when rates were basically zero will need to be refinanced. There's also been signals that default rates have been increasing. So, what happens when all of those loans get refinanced at higher rates? Do we see more defaults?
Yeah.
Does it get a little bit uglier? I will say this, I've known that regional banks are usually the ones that tend to have those types of loans on their books. And Shane has done some digging to kind of identify three banks that could potentially see some substantial losses if that does come into fruition. Now, this is all speculation at this point. We don't know what's
Right.
actually going to happen,
Right.
but the math makes sense, right? The math makes sense. And we've been talking about major cities seeing real estate buildings selling at
It's selling.
pennies on the
Selling.
dollar,
Yep.
telling me that they're basically saying, you know what? We're not going to refinance at the higher rates. We're just going to have to sell that asset and take a
Yep.
loss.
Yep. Somebody's losing money.
Somebody's losing money. So that's something that I have been trying to keep an eye on. That's the one thing that I have in the back of my mind that says it could be a potential threat. But until we start to see major developments in that space, you know, I'm just going
Yeah.
to have to continue to speculate. So
Yeah.
that is one thing that I'm keeping my eye on right now. Is commercial real estate. I have not taken my eye off that ball yet. No.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely going to be a move. I don't know what the cat is going to be, but there's going to be a move.
Exactly. We don't know what the catalyst is going to be yet.
Yeah.
but it's something to definitely pay attention to. So,
Yep.
but I keep telling people, if you ever want to know when something substantial could change in the market, look at the bond market. The bond market is usually the front runner to signal something could be happening.
Absolutely.
So we talked about this way back before the April drop that the bond market was showing some signs of weakness. So pay attention to the bond market. Look at spreads between treasuries and high yield corporates
Mhm.
or investment grade corporates too. If those spreads start to widen, that tells you that the risk premium in the market is getting higher.
Yep. Yep.
So always pay attention to the bond market, in my opinion, because to me, it is a better indicator about the economy than the stock market.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Because it covers not just United States debtors, but it covers outside of debtors
It's
too, right?
global. It's
Yep.
global. It's
So
global.
keep
Yep.
an eye on that one. So
Yeah.
um I know we didn't mention Tesla, but Tesla has been having a hard time. They're down 30% to the year. The robot taxi, I mean, we thought that's gonna be um a catalyst. I mean, it was a catalyst for a little bit, but then just Elon just keep trying to pick a fight with Mr. Trump, and he's definitely fighting a losing battle right now because the stock is suffering. You know what I mean? The stock is suffering. So
The
uh,
board, I think, is going to have to step in and
yeah, they're
hire a
gonna have to.
full-time CEO.
They're gonna
I
have to.
think that that's what they're because somebody made a good point I saw on TV the other day. They said Elon doesn't own Tesla. Shareholders do.
Mhm.
Your obligation is to shareholders.
Yep.
So I wonder if they possibly try to push him out or try to hire a full-time CEO, but his involvement with politics has taken his eye and his concentration off the ball when it comes
Yep.
to Tesla, the company.
Yep.
And to be 100% honest with you, I really don't think he cares about Tesla that much anymore.
No.
I really
No.
don't think so.
No. He has. I mean, he has the SpaceX.
SpaceX,
That's
he's
valued
got
at $400 billion. Something like it's crazy amount of valuation.
XAI.
He got XAI on top of that, and he has Starlink. Like
Yeah.
those are the ones that are really changing the next narrative for him. So it's
And
like,
he has no plans to bring them public because he doesn't need all of the
yeah,
eyeballs and the ears in his head. He's
he's
just like, I'm in
profitable.
the
He's profitable in that sector. So why
why
rush?
raise money? Yeah.
You don't need to rush. But I mean, it is concerning what's going on with him. I mean, but at the same time, I think a lot of people invested in Tesla because of him. So I don't know
Yes.
if they switch the
Yes.
CEO, I don't know where the stock is going to go. You know what I mean? So I
Now
think
he
he
might still
should.
be like the chairman because Bezos is the chairman for Amazon, but the CEO
Right.
is Jassy. Maybe
Right.
they do something along those lines. I'm not saying he's going to leave the company completely,
Yeah.
but his attention is not on Tesla at all.
No. So we'll see, man. I see Tesla going back to like 285, maybe even 270. If you can hold that 290 area, I think it's gonna blast
Yeah,
down.
I'm out of Tesla, man. I have had enough of
Yeah,
that.
enough.
I've had enough,
My
and
man is
right
not
now,
focused.
yeah, it's getting rejected at that 200
200
exponential
year.
moving
Yep.
average. Yeah,
Yep.
so.
Yep. So we're probably gonna see a couple of gap downs in the next couple of weeks if nothing changes, unless if something comes up where he's refocusing and all that stuff. But I mean, I see they're having issues with their autonomous bots also. There's some delays in that. So it's like,
Hmm.
I don't know, man. Tesla just it's not having good news.
Shane says that Tesla will absorb XAI. There are rumors going around that that could happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye out on that.
I mean, the way it closed today, that doji, I mean, that doesn't look good at all.
Yeah.
But we shall see, man. With that being said, any advice going into next week for the people? Anything you want to share? Any
Man,
nuggets?
the only thing I want to share is I think I cracked the options trading code.
Yo, I can't wait to hear about that because I saw a couple of trades that she posted. And I was like, whoa,
Man.
listen. I was like, I need to pay attention to that one.
So someone in our group sent me their results ever since I changed my trading strategy. Just
Mm,
made a small tweak. The last month, this person's portfolio is up 629%. This is what they sent me. Can you see it?
that's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
So I've been going through a few trades that um, we have made over the last, man, maybe I call it maybe 3 weeks.
Mhm.
And the results have been crazy. So Boeing was a big trade. Phase Energy.
Face.
Everybody missed Futu. I missed Futu. Futu was up like 18% in like 2 days.
Yep.
But I put the analysis in our trading group, but I didn't trade it. I traded Joby. Joby made a 9% move
Joby was nice
yesterday.
too. Yep.
We hit Intel. We hit EOG. We hit, what else did we hit not too long ago? I missed Shell completely.
Hmm.
That was last week. I missed an opportunity for like a 300% trade. I mean, the way I've navigated how to look for trading opportunities is basically a reverse of what I was looking at before.
Mm.
And so far, I have not been
Been
in
hitting.
a losing trade. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to continue forever. I'm not saying that at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
But
But
I have,
while it lasts, we're gonna keep riding
I'm gonna ride that wave.
it.
I'm gonna ride that wave. I'm
Yeah,
gonna ride that wave.
absolutely.
So, if you're looking for a trading group or an
Please.
investment group,
We're
and
not we're
this is
not begging you anymore. Just join the
so
damn
this is
thing.
and the thing is, it's very simple. If you don't, the only thing you need to understand about trading, if you know what a call is and you know what a put is, all you need to know.
Yep,
That's all
yep,
you need to know because
yep,
the algorithm will basically tell you where to look.
yep.
And all we're doing is we're positioning ourselves in those spots and we're just waiting for
For the
reversals.
move. Yep,
That's
that's
it.
it. That's it.
So if all you know is calls and puts, you can have success in our trading
Hmm.
group.
Hmm.
No high level jargon and talking over your head. Do you know what a call is? Yes. Do you know what a put is? Yes. That's all you need to know. It's really that simple.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see how long the momentum lasts. But yeah, I think we're in a couple trades right now that um well I mentioned I'm only in one, but I mentioned a couple trades. Man, I'm actually surprised that the results have been this good. Now, the thing that I need to work on is I still need to find what my trigger is when that move is going to
When
happen.
was it gonna
Then
happen?
I
Yep.
also need to be able to look at various setups because the setups are very similar. But I
Hmm.
need to figure out how can I figure out which setup will have a bigger move than the other one.
Yep.
Because Joby and Futu had the same setups, but Futu
He
ran
took off. Yep.
way more than Joby.
Yep.
So what I need to start doing now is starting to look at, okay, what are the clues that will give me an idea of which one can trend longer and which one may not trend longer.
Yep.
Unity software, if you go look at the move from Friday to this week, go look at that move. Roku, we
Crazy.
caught Roku from like $80 to $88.
Hmm.
Um, and there's a ton of other ones that I just didn't post that I missed because I'm keeping a running list. And as I keep them in the running list, I'm going back and tracking all of the
All
trades
of them.
and back testing it and looking at what I missed, what I could have done differently, and all that stuff. And so far, it's been money. So yeah, I am on to something. I am on to something.
Bro, like I said, that cheat code that you came up with, like I'm telling you, man, we gotta
I
figure
am
that
on
damn
I
thing.
am on to something. All I
Yes,
gotta keep
sir.
doing is refining it. So I'll leave you with this QBTS. We'll see what happens with that one tomorrow, but QBTS, that's all
Yep,
I'll say.
that's a nice one too.
So
Yeah. With that being said, y'all, please join the group, send it to your
subscribe to our
people,
channel.
subscribe
We're
to our
three
channel.
we're three away from 100.
Come
Tell your
on.
tell your friends, tell your relatives. We're three away from 100. So
Yeah, our hours are doing really good, so we're excited about that, and we're really excited about some of the things that YouTube is doing. So please help us get there because we need to make this passive money on YouTube, man.
And like I said, if you find the information quality, our goal every week is to provide quality information that you can
Yes,
actually
sir.
use to really benefit yourself financially. So,
Yep.
you know, subscribe, like, do what you need to do, follow us on Instagram. Our goal is just to provide quality information to people. So,
Yep.
um, and if
Yep.
you're a trader, an investor, and you want to really change the trajectory of your financial life, all my educational information is at $3 still. I haven't changed it.
Listen, yo, y'all go get it, man. Please,
It's
please
still
go get it.
listed at $3, and I'll probably keep it there until the end of the month. But you know, do yourself a favor and learn about capital markets so that let me just leave you with this phenomenon. I posted a chart the other day of federal minimum wage versus CPI. Federal minimum wage has not changed in over 25 years.
That's crazy.
It's been flat. There's been no growth in the federal minimum wage in 25 years. But what has happened to cost of living over the last 25 years? Now, I'm not expecting everybody to live on minimum wage for the rest of their life. No, 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 that's not what I'm saying. But if you think that the people in Washington are the people that are going to try to help you stabilize yourself financially, they don't care. As cost of living increases, you have to put yourself in a position to outpace inflation.
Right.
The stock market is a great way to do that. Learning about investing and things like that is a great way to do that. So build your acumen around those things so that you don't get left behind.
Right. Right.
So
And financial market is the best way to hedge against inflation and all that stuff too. So it's like you do want to be in those spaces,
you want
right?
to be in that
So
space.
yeah,
Exactly.
because otherwise, I mean, you losing money on your
Purchasing power.
dollar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you lose
you
purchasing power.
so this is a good place to be in for you to be able to
Yeah.
like hedge
I think I
against
saw some
inflation and all this stuff.
yeah, I think I saw something today that says if you made 100K, I think 5 years ago, in order to keep up with inflation, you need to be making 125,000
Yep,
because of what has happened with cost of living. And that's in
pretty
a
much,
5 year period
pretty much
because you've lost purchasing power.
crazy,
So yeah, that's
crazy.
crazy. That is
But
crazy.
it takes you looking outside of your it takes you looking outside of your box. 'Cause it's like if you on a day to day, you're probably not gonna realize the changes and all this stuff. But
Mm-mm.
on a long term basis, like those numbers are changing, man.
Yeah.
Like what you can buy today for $1 is not the same thing you can buy like 5 years ago. 5 years ago, the
Yeah.
dollar probably went a lot further than today. So
You see it at the gas tank, you see it at the grocery store. I see
yep.
it at In-N-Out Burger.
Ah,
My favorite
wait,
Indian
wait,
rest
wait. Your burger and shake costs a lot more.
my favorite Indian restaurant by my house. I used to
Yeah,
buy their chicken biryani and their chicken marsala for $10 each.
yeah.
They're at 13 now.
God damn.
That's
But
now
that's
you're saying $3 is not that much money, but I'm looking at 30%.
yep, yep.
That's how I
That's
look at it.
that's
A
affecting your
30%
pocket
increase.
and affecting your pocket and your stomach. Like that's too much.
So I mean that's a pretty substantial increase because when I
That is
was going
crazy.
there during COVID, I was buying their food for $10. Now
That's crazy.
it's 13.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure their cost of doing their running their business has gone up, which is why they had to increase prices.
Right, right. Because they're probably paying a lot more for
Hmm.
supplies, paying a lot more for
Exactly.
products. So they have to like it
Exactly.
has that. And we
Exactly.
talked about this too, right? It's like when especially with the tariffs and all the stuff, like those costs gets passed down to consumers. Consumers end up taking the burden of paying for whatever the tariff is, the company's not gonna pay for it. I'll be honest with you. Like companies are not gonna pay for it. They're gonna pass it down to you, whether you know it or not, it's gonna get passed down to you. So yeah. It's
Now I'm
important to
hearing
be in the
some
financial
companies are getting
market.
a little bit creative about spreading their tariffs around various products, which I
Of
think
course.
is a good
Yeah.
thing. But at the end of the day, the prices are still going
The
to
price
go
is
up.
going up. Yeah,
Yeah.
the price is going up. But
So
yeah, but with that being said, y'all, I know it's 9 o'clock. Let's wrap it up. That's a wrap from us at Wall Street Rundown. We hope you guys enjoy this. Please subscribe, share, let the people know where to find us. And yeah, I think we're all good. And you guys have a good night, and we'll talk to you guys on